Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and it's kind of sad, but I'm also really excited to say that this will be my final Raiders mock draft of 2023. But today's show is presented by Panda Supps, and use code TEST for 25% off at pandasupps.com. I want you to try out their brand new test booster, whether you're trying to get more out of your workout or think she's going to like it too. Link's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. So the NFL draft is on Thursday, and Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to be live for the entire thing. If you're wondering where I ran this mock draft simulation, I did it on PFF. I also made some trades. So the trades that you're going to see, I will walk you through each and every one of them. So as it stands right now, the Las Vegas Raiders have 12 picks in total. They have number 7 overall, got number 38, 2/3, a 4th, 3/5, 2/6, and 2/7. Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler have a lot to work with. The way that I did this draft, I really tried to stock up on needs and really build the defense. So, let's look at the draft. Here's how the Raiders mock ended up going. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Devon Witherspoon were the top 3 picks. Then Will Levis, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson Jr., the edge out of Alabama. So I know a lot of times when we do this show, we always talk about, let's trade back, let's do that. Well, sometimes the trades that you are given, you don't necessarily love. And I'll be real with y'all, I wanted to try to trade back. And I didn't love the value of this trade that I got because I was trying to get this without giving up a 3rd. Washington would not do it. However, I said, okay, I wanted a first-round pick in 2024. And the reason why I was willing to do this trade is because for the quarterback that Washington ended up trading up for, if I'm sitting here saying Anthony Richardson with the Commanders, that could be such a disaster that turns out to be a top 5 pick. So I was willing to take a bet in this scenario because, yeah, I had to move back a few spots, but I got an extra 2nd rounder, and I got a 1st round pick that I legitimately think could be a top 5 overall pick. So what I want to know from all of you is this. Who wins this trade? If you think it's the Washington Commanders, type WAS. If you think it's the Raiders, type LV. If the quarterback turns out to be a success, Washington wins it. If Anthony Richardson can't lead the Commanders to a legitimate season, then guess what? The Raiders win this trade. So let's keep on walking you through how this mock draft ended up going down. The Commanders, they went up. They took Richardson. The Falcons got Peter Skoronski. Paris Johnson goes off the board of the Bears. Bijan Robinson, number 10 of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jaxon Smith-Njigba to Tennessee. Nolan Smith, Chris Gonzalez, Tyree Wilson, Broderick Jones, which means at the number 16th pick in my final Raiders mock draft, I am going to go with, he is undersized, but it fits a big-time team need, and I know Patrick Graham loves him from coaching him at the Senior Bowl. It's Calijah Kancey. When I look at Kancey overall as a prospect, is 16 a little bit higher than where I have him on my big board? Yes, it is. But in terms of crossing off a big-time need, which right now defensive tackle is a huge need. Is he Aaron Donald? No. Did they both go to PITT? Yes. Are they both undersized? Yes. But to me, Kancey is the 2nd best defensive tackle in this year's class. And I also went this route because I had a gut feeling that I was going to be able to get a good cornerback a little bit later on with one of those 2 second-round picks that I have. In terms of what Dane Brugler has to say on Kancey, it's this. Overall, Kancey's undersized frame and average strength will be more pronounced versus NFL blockers, especially in the run game. But his get-off, agility, and quick hands allow him to leverage gaps and disrupt backfield. Although not quite on Donald's level as a prospect, parallels are encouraging, and he projects as a starting 3 tech. I went based on team need, and I went on a player that I'm willing to bet on, and that is Calijah Kancey. Let's go to round 2 now. Pick number 38 in my final Raiders mock draft. And remember, this is all a simulation through PFF. Yes, I already ran the simulation, but I was curious on how you thought this mock ended up going down. So at pick number 38, I'm going to go with a cornerback here and it's Emmanuel Forbes. I had the opportunity to pick between Forbes and Keely Ringo. I decided to go with Emmanuel. Now, there are some people out there that are really worried about his size, and he has apparently already put on 15 pounds. It sounds like he's up to 180, where some people were saying he was like 160 when the season ended. If you want a ball hawk, you want somebody that's going to be able to make some plays, Forbes is your guy. 46 tackles, 6 INTs, 11 PBUs. And if you want to say, okay, we get him in the weight room, put on some extra weight, then yeah, Forbes has got some upside. This is what Brugler has to say. Overall, Forbes' rail-thin build and marginal play strength are concerns, along with his aggressiveness tendencies. But he is light-footed and long with the mental processor and confidence to be an NFL playmaker. NFL teams willing to overlook his slightness will find a damn good player, and I agree with that. Let's now go to round 2, pick 47. So I went defensive tackle. I was able to get a good cornerback, and remember, when you look at this mock, I am also getting a first-round pick in 2024. So with this being where I was at, the reason why I went with cornerback is because there were 3 linebackers that I was okay to take at 47 if available. The linebackers there were Jack Campbell, Drew Sanders, and then Deion Henley. I was happy to get my number 1 overall linebacker at pick 47, Drew Sanders out of Arkansas. I will continue to say this is the best overall linebacker in the class. I know PFF likes Jack Campbell more. If Campbell would have been here, cool, would have taken him. If Henley, who was on the board, I took Sanders over top of him. Brugler has this to say on the Arkansas Razorback. Overall, Sanders must become a more skilled tackle finisher and take-on player, but he offers intriguing versatility as a do-everything front 7 defender thanks to his size and athletic range. He is an ascending player with the talent to be a matchup linebacker and an occasional pass rusher in the NFL. The key word when you look at Sanders is versatile. He can do a lot of things really well, and realistically, that's what this Raiders team needs. Does he need to improve as a tackler? Yes. Can he get after the QB? He showed you that, 9.5 sacks. He also has the ability to cover, and the Raiders need somebody like that. So the fact that I started our draft with Kancey, a corner in Forbes, and Drew Sanders, I think you're going to like how this mock turns out. Now, if you don't already know, we're going to be live every pick during the 2023 NFL Draft. You will get the picks before you see them on TV, so please subscribe. Join our shows. We're going to be doing ticket giveaways for the first home opener. On top of that, jersey giveaways, tons and tons of stuff. So please watch the Raiders Report for our draft content. Friendly reminder, we traded away pick 70 to the Commanders, which means our only third-round pick is the pick that we got in the Darren Waller trade. And I'm going to go with another player that I like a lot. And upside is 100% there. It's Purdue cornerback Cory Trice. 6'3", 215 pounds. And he's long, he's athletic, and he has that upside that I know the Raiders are really going to covet. Overall, Trice might never be a high-level technician, but he has the exceptional size, speed, and change of direction skills to be a disruptive cover man both early and late in the rep. He offers positional versatility with starting potential in press man or cover 3 schemes. The Raiders this season, when it comes to corners, they're going to look, obviously for the versatility word, but press man corner. They want more press man, and Cory Trice has that ability, which is why I was happy with this pick. So the next 4 picks here in my Raiders mock, round 4, 109, and then your 3 fifth-round picks at 141, 144, and 174. But guess what? I got another trade here. This is what the New Orleans Saints offered me. The Saints, they get pick 109. In return, they get a 6th-round pick at 204. What did I do? I moved back a few spots in the 4th round at 115, but I jumped up a bunch of spots in the 5th round at 146. If the Raiders were to make this trade on draft night, how would you feel? It's day 3. I know for me personally, I was really trying to find another way to get a little bit higher, whether it be in the 4th, whether it be in the 5th, but I was ultimately okay with this deal. But hey, you can let me know, Raiders or Saints. For me, I was really excited to get Dorian Williams here in round 4, pick 115. Overall, the more and more tape I start watching on this kid, the more and more I start to like him. 131 tackles for the Green Wave, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. In fact, when I put out a video on my top 30 prospect visits that the Raiders had, I had Dorian Williams too low. I started watching more and more film on those top 30 overall prospects. If you want somebody, I'm going to throw out, the Raiders for a long time feel like they've been looking for a linebacker that can play safety, right? You have Divine Diablo, you had Tanner Muse. Dorian Williams is also a very similar mold in that, which is why I like his fit here. Overall, you wish Williams played with better anticipation, but once he sees it, he gets there in a hurry and has the tools desired for a modern-day developmental linebacker. He has the profile of a key special teamer with the talent to eventually compete for NFL starting reps. I will tell you this right now. He will be a very good special teams player in the NFL, and that's going to get him on rosters. If he can turn out and he can learn some of that anticipation and can learn how to read offenses a little bit better, Dorian Williams is going to be one hell of a player in the NFL. Let's go to round 5, pick 141. And remember, I got 41, 44, and 46 here. I really wanted Zach Kuntz. He went at 139. I'm not shitting you. So here I'm going to go with another player that I am starting to like more and more as well. Yasir Abdullah, 6'1", 242 pounds out of Louisville. Good edge rusher. To me, this would be probably your Malcolm Kuntz replacement. Kuntz isn't a McDaniels and Ziegler guy. If they take an edge rusher at this point in the draft, that's going to be your Kuntz replacement. And in terms of why you guys should like Yasir, overall, Abdullah has some tweener traits and will be asked to play more in reverse in the NFL than he was in college. But his read-react athleticism and finishing skills are solid base skills for a linebacker. His ideal role in the NFL is an off-ball linebacker and pass rush specialist in sub-packages. Bring him in when it's third down, let him pin his ears back, and get after the quarterback. Let's go to now 144, which the more and more I started looking at players here, I didn't love my selection. I'll be 100% with you. However, before I tell you who I took at round 5, 144, reminder today's show is presented by our good friends, Panda Sups. And if you haven't tried, I use their protein. I use their BCAAs. I got their creatine. I use their fat burn. Hell, Jugs and I took a fat burn before today's show. But what I want you to try is their brand new test booster. And use code TEST at 25% off at pandasups.com. When you go to the gym, I want you to get the most out of your workout. If you're there for 45 minutes, crush it. If you're there for an hour, crush it. Here's the thing. You use the test booster, you're going to get more bang for your buck. Now, if you don't already know, Panda Sups, the owner, is a big-time Raiders fan. And if anybody out there is looking for a natural way to build muscle, improve sex drive, build your strength, and increase your energy levels, well, I need you to check out the all-new Panda Test. Panda Test uses clinically dosed ingredients to naturally boost free testosterone levels and reduce stress hormones. On top of that, she's going to like it too. I feel always dumb saying that out loud, but it's just the truth, right? I know some people out there, you might not feel the way you did, when you were in your 20s. Maybe you go to the gym all the time and you're not seeing the results. Well, it could be because your testosterone levels are low. All I ask Raider fans is this. We give you a promo code, test it out, try it. If you like it, guess what? I think you're going to continue to use those products. I've been using Panda for, a year now. I've been using this test for a good month. I have seen solid results. So use code TEST, 25% off. Link available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. Let's go to round 5, pick 144. I told y'all I really wanted Zach Kuntz. Unfortunately, he was off the board. So I'm going to go with another tight end that I have ranked highest on my board / based on team needs. I see the Raiders taking a tight end. I'm going to go with Davis Allen here out of Clemson. I'll be honest, it's not a sexy pick. Yeah, it's just he's a tight end that the Raiders could use with O.J. Howard. 39 catches, 443 yards, 5 touchdowns. Though I am curious to see what he would look like in an offense that's not ran by a garbage quarterback. From what Brugler has to say, Allen isn't overly dynamic as a receiver, but his body control and catch radius are among the best in this tight end draft class, and he shows real promise as a blocker. With his talent and character, he has intriguing developmental potential. Because of all those reasons of what Brugler laid out is why I could see the Raiders taking him. Good blocker, has talent, high character player, good in the red zone. There you go. Now, because of the trade that we made, we have pick 146 here. And I'm going to go back to the defensive side of the football with a player that the Raiders met with a top 30 visit. Safety Daniel Scott. 6'2", 215-pounder for the Cal Bears. 85 tackles, 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups. So in terms of his overall breakdown, Scott has better traits than tape and needs to become more buttoned up in several areas. But NFL teams are always searching for rangy, quick-footed safeties with his set of skills. His versatility on defense and special teams will be an attractive selling point on draft day. Let's go to pick 174 now. I had 4 picks in round 5. That would be very, very intriguing to me. And I'm going to go to the offensive side of the football. And if you've watched the show before, you know what quarterback I think that the Raiders are most likely to take. It's Aidan O'Connell from Purdue. He is the most likely QB that the Raiders pick based on odds and odds alone. The Raiders have met with him. The Raiders like him. And if they come away with this draft and they don't have anybody and they're going to wait until day 3, this is the name to keep in mind. O'Connell isn't a quick twitch mover or a thrower and is guilty of trying to get away with throws he knows he shouldn't make. But he is a strong-minded, accurate, and touches the ball, giggity, up at every level of the field. He has the skills and intangibles of a capable backup in the NFL. That is what you're going to be looking for, and that is what McDaniels and Ziegler would look for. Smart quarterback who can be a good backup for many, many years to come. Before I show you how I round out today's final Raiders mock draft, a friendly reminder that Chat Sports is going to be live as well. So Chugs and I are going to be here on the Raiders Report, but our Chat Sports channel is also going to be live doing their own draft coverage. And I'm sure you're going to see Jeremy and I pop over there from time to time doing crazy shenanigans like we always do. If you want more draft content, though, turn on the Raiders Report, turn on Chat Sports. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Links down there below. It's going to be in the comments and the description. Check out our draft content here at Chat Sports. Let's go to round 6, 214. I traded away 204 to the Saints earlier on. And with this pick here, this is where I start to look for just depth, maybe some upside. If I can find a key special teamer, let's do it. However, one of the players that I like a lot because he's a good athlete, Atonio Mafi, was available. UCLA, is he a left guard? Yes. However, though, I do think that you can play different positions here and there, and I do think he fits with what Carmen Bracilla would want, and I think he would fit in if he learns 1 year, sits behind, and then in year 2, they put him out there, could be an intriguing player overall. NFL defenders will expose the raw areas of his game, but Mafi is a promising, heavy-handed mauler who looks to create movement with inline power. Although he might need time on a practice squad, he has the talent worth developing in a power-based scheme. I'll tell you what, in terms of who's had a lot of success developing talent, it's been Carmen Bracilla. I don't need Mafi to play right away. 1 year, let Bracilla work with them, and then who knows, you might have another late-round steal at offensive lineman. So the last time the Raiders took a defensive end from Eastern Michigan, I would say it worked out pretty well. So because of that, and because I talked to Crosby's dad, we're going to go with Jose Ramirez here. 65 tackles, 12 sacks from Eastern Michigan, and 2 forced fumbles. If there's one thing that I know the Raiders like, it's somebody who gives it his all. And that's what Ramirez is going to do, and I think Crosby would put him underneath his giant condor wings. So, offenses will find success running to his side of the field. But Ramirez gets to the quarterback off schedule with his relentless pass rush sequence. He projects best standing up as a rotational edge rusher. I know I throw out this name a lot on this show, Benson Mayowa. But the 1 year that the Raiders had Benson Mayowa, great situational pass rusher. He's not good in the run, but that's not why I'm drafting him. I'm taking a guy who shows heart, who goes out there and gives every single snap, and because of that, if you can get him on the field you put him on the field 10 snaps, and it's all pass rush situations, he's definitely going to be worth a 7th rounder. Let's go to the final pick here, special teams. Gervarius Owens. Love this kid in the 7th round. He's a special teams guy. 74 tackles, an interception, 7 pass breakups. I don't think that he's going to find himself on a football roster on the defensive side, but from an athletic standpoint, special teams, let's get it popping. Owens lacks consistency in several areas: ball skills, tackling, route recognition. But he anticipates with aggressive athleticism pro coaches will appreciate. He projects as a backup and special teamer who can be more with NFL coaching. So what do you guys think? That's my final Raiders mock draft. I might even shed a tear or two, because when you think about how much you talk about the draft for just a month straight, it's all you do. And this was the final one that we ended up breaking down. So I got Calijah, Cancey, Emmanuel, Forbes, Drew Sanders, Cory Trice. Then we went Dorian Williams, Yasir, Abdullah, Davis Allen, Daniel Scott, Aidan O'Connell, and then to round out, Mafi, Jose Ramirez, and Gervarius Owens. But you have to remember, the trade that I made was with the Washington Commanders for their 1st round pick in 2024, and they took Anthony Richardson. That has a legitimate chance to be a top 5 pick. Now, if Richardson's that dude, then yeah, you're going to be in a different situation. But I was also willing to do it because I looked at the teams in that division, and I think the Commanders are the worst team in the NFC East. So with all of that, grade my mock draft. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Be honest with me. I always look in the comments. I always see what you guys have to say. Can't wait to hear how you thought this mock draft ended up going down.